welcome everyone to this section where we will talking today about educational policies and curricular development in the Dominican Republic. Um, Today, we are sharing this space with an authority of the English area at MINER, who is the Professor Robert Hunter Matos Montero. But first of all, let us introduce the staff for this interview, which is conformed by the members of group number 6. They are Rosana Martinez, Ivana Ventura, Santa Sedano, Edward Pineda, and who's speaking, Lilian Mansueto. Well, one more time, Professor Matos, it's a pleasure having you here. Welcome. Thank you for taking time for sharing with us today. Let me give the chance to my friend Rosanna, who is going to be the first interviewer this morning. Let you know.
Thank you, Lilian. Good morning. Good morning, Professor Matos. The first question we want to ask you is relating to the program's goals and objectives relating to the English area. We want to know what are the initiative and what are the objectives of those initiatives relating to the English area in the public sector.
The first thing I'd like to talk about is what are the main objectives or the main goals of the Ministry of Education has for teaching and learning English in the Dominican schools. The first thing to say is that we have a major policy that is written, and it is a law we call an ordinance for the teaching of English in public schools. And this ordinance is what we call the curriculum, right? So this curriculum is directed to describe what are the learning objectives that are going to be attained at different levels of education. In primary school, for example, it's going to be different than secondary schools. But each one of the levels of education is divided into 6 groups of grades that we call cycles, as you know very well. In primary school, in the second cycle, which are grades 4 through 6, we have the level A1 has for the Common European Framework of Reference, and we expect our students to learn the basics at that level. In secondary school, we expect our students to learn up to the A2 level of the same framework I just mentioned, and this is for the grades 1st through 3rd grades of secondary school. And the last group of grades, the last cycle, is the one for the last 3 grades of the secondary schools, where we expect them to learn to the B1 level. A difference in this cycle is that we have a variety of schools that graduate students in arts, plus the technical families. They are really, really varied. And we also have this general stream of the curriculum. And I think that in a few words, these are the main objectives. Now, what initiatives accompany this curriculum so that it can be implemented in the classroom? Since our curriculum is flexible enough to be implemented through different programs, there are some initiatives that we have started, such as the one you are mentioning here, which is the English for a Better Life program. And this program is being implemented in only 140 or 45 schools now. So that means that there are thousands of schools that are not in this program. So what are we doing with these schools? We have teachers. Teachers are the ones in charge of implementing the Dominican curriculum. And that's why teachers need to participate in different, let's not call it training programs, but some workshops, mainly in the summer before we begin the school year. So our teachers are receiving instructions now to deal with the curriculum and implement it. Also, they need to comply with what is a competence-based curriculum where they need to write the official grades of our students according to the competence-based curriculum. And that's something that is the main initiative we have every year. This one, the English for a Better Life program, is a special case. Is a special case because we are testing different ways to teach. Now, something that is new about the initiatives and project is that of calling private schools to see if they have teachers that can teach where we don't have teachers to teach. But that's something that is just beginning, and this is just an idea of having more English teachers because we really need more English teachers. What else? We are also, we have some programs that are not devoted to teach English in the classroom, but to provide with in-service professional development to teachers, to in-service English teachers in our classroom. So as far as I know, about 400 teachers are now being trained by the Institute, Dominico Americano Institute, and about 2,000 more teachers are being trained through the INAFOCAM programs with different universities that they are providing teacher training programs devoted to increase their communicative and language levels. So this is the initiatives I can talk about right now.
Okay, good morning again, Mr. Mato. Continue with the initiative. We want to know what strategies and methodologies are being used to deliver English language education under this initiative, and which have proven to be the most effective in the public sector.
As I told you before, it is competence-based curriculum. So what it demands now is not only teaching the grammar and vocabulary, but having students interact in, let's say, contexts that are much more like real life situations that they can encounter in real life. So one of the things we're asking our teachers is not to focus that much in grammar or within the textbook, but to create situations where students need to interact and use the language communicatively. So we value using debates, different types of presentations, and writing different types of compositions. And this is what we are promoting our teachers to do. And one thing is that I have told you about the different levels we have adopted with the Common European Framework. And one of the perspectives, the base perspective of the Common European Framework is that of the active learning strategies, because as students are developing their communicative skills, they are also learning content and developing all the other competencies in the curriculum. That's what the Common European Framework says. So it is an actional approach, and in our curriculum it is described a communicative approach, but it is actually an actional approach because it is asking our teachers to create projects with the students, to create projects, to do tasks using the language, and to learn not only English but learning all of the content knowledge in other areas as well. At the same time, the they're developing this foreign language.
Good morning, Robert Matos. Thank you for being with us, sharing your knowledge today. So my question is, how do you measure the success and impact of these programs on a student's language proficiency and overall educational outcomes in the Dominican Republic?
Okay, same as what happens with all of the other subjects. We believe our teachers are the one who report what is happening. But let me tell you that we don't have a national test to do that. Okay, we have created, uh, if I can call that an initiative, also. Um, is the Olympics in foreign languages. So we're asking our teachers to bring their best students and present what they are doing in their districts. I know this is not a measure that'll tell you what our students are learning, but that doesn't really happen this way. Even when we have a national test, can, and that is happening in Spanish, can describe what students have attained at a certain um, age and grade when they finish high school, but they didn't tell you in the process. You don't have a test in the process that tells you what our students are learning in any subject. So that is not happening in English either. I know it is something really we measured at specific schools, and there are some schools that can show their students are learning English. There are some special cases, but that has to do with a lot of factors, including not only having a good that are really difficult to replicate in all the schools.
So I would like to know what are the main challenges and obstacles encountered in the implementation of these programs, and how are they being addressed?
Okay, I have already mentioned the problem we have with the scarcity of teachers, English teachers that have a good command of the English language. I think this is the main challenge we have, and I have already told you about how we're trying to address this issue through the implementation of more in-service professional development opportunities directed to increasing their command of the English language. This is only one part of the issues, right? There are some other issues that I haven't mentioned yet, such as that of having a greater amount of students per classroom, and maybe another one that is derived from what I first mentioned is that due to that lack of teachers, we have more students per classroom, right? But we have resorted also to non career teachers, so other career teachers of English. They might have studied math, they don't know any English, and they are working at that school where they assign them to teach English. Understand, because I in school before and tell you that what's most important when you are at school is not leaving the children alone. So you assign an adult to be with them. So this is a basic say measure that the schools are taking, and that's why we have about 30% of our teachers not knowing English yet, and some of them who know English, they know up to A2 level. um, a lot of B1s, B2 levels of English, that we still need to increase. Which other situations we might encounter, and this is really important, is that the district and regional advisors of English, they are assigned to a company to oversee or coach specific schools. And even when they have some days during the week to visit the schools, there are times they cannot do that because they don't have the budget to do that. Other times they do have the budget, but they have a greater number of schools to visit. So teachers are not receiving enough follow up from the training they are getting and feedback for the practices they are implementing the curriculum. So I think these are the major challenges we have. And let's not forget something, and it is that in the curriculum we have 4 hours assigned for our English classes, but many schools, due to the lack of teachers, also they assign less class time to the students. Let's say 3, 2, whatever. And there's also another thing, and it is that not all the schools have the extended shift. So not all the schools work all day long. Many schools, about 40% of the schools are working just half time, right, until 12:30. So that also reduces the time assigned for the English classes. And we say modifying the programs in the future. One thing is that we have the curriculum, and the curriculum is a law. They say it is the second major law of a country because it is a law where we describe what we expect our children, the level of education, and we describe the type of education our children need to get before they become active citizens in the society. That's why the curriculum is so important. That doesn't change that easily. And even when we decide to begin a process to recreate or change the curriculum, it'll last about 10 years to do that, because it takes a long time. We are subject to international education that we have signed. It takes a lot of study, a lot of conversation with different stakeholders, and that's why it takes time. But if you're talking about changing a program, that's something that happens very often. So we might have a program this year, and then if we don't see good results in that program, it is changed for another one. Nowadays, we're thinking about this English for a Better Life program, right? And it is something that is being implemented with an online platform. But we expect that the English unit that is in charge of the English for a Better Life program also can adopt any other programs that are at hand, including that of having private schools to teach or to manage the English programs at schools where we don't have teachers. So I think that briefly answers the question of modifying programs. I think the Ministry of Education is open to programs that can help implement the curriculum, because at the end, what we want is our students to learn. And if they get to reach the level B1, that'd be good enough for our system.
Thank you, Professor Matos, for sharing your time with us. It's important to highlight that Professor Matos currently works as a national curriculum supervisor for Dominion, and he is also an English teacher, English and French professor at WAS University in San Juan. He is also the creator of school language, and his region of San Juan. So it is to say that he is a knowledgeable person in the topic, and we're very glad that you take time for sharing with us insight on this podcast.
Vamos 7 minutos.
Yeah. Hello and welcome one more time. In this section, we will be analyzing the answers of Professor Matos regarding to educational policies and curriculum development in the Dominican Republic. First of all, let's listen to Rosana Martinez, who will be given his point of view on the initiative goals and objectives. Go ahead, Rosana.
Thank you, Lillian. According to what Professor Matos said, the curriculum is the development of the curriculum is the main goal of the Ministry of Education. He said that the curriculum is open, flexible, and participatory. I disagree when he said that the curriculum is participatory because we teachers and students don't take part in the development of the curriculum. Also, he mentions programs like the one for English for Better Life, but he said that the program is only working in 154 schools. What happened with the others one? According to the Constitution, every Dominican should get the same education with the same quality. And that's not the same because they are not part of the program. He also mentioned that teacher has to tailor the program and the initiative. But what happened with the equal education? If everyone develop the different program, it's going to be equal education. What I agree is the develop of training for teacher, even though I disagree some training that they have to us that are different from our reality. They got our training to develop strategy for classroom just with 20 and 25 students. We have overpopulation, and also we don't have the materials and the equipment needed to develop those strategies. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, I totally agree with you in the aspect that the curriculum should be a little bit more participatory for teachers and students. Now let's see, Santa Serrano will be giving her point of view related to initiatives and teaching strategies and methodologies.
Okay, thank you, Lillian. One of the strategy that Mr. Mato mentioned was to create situation to involve the student in real life situation, not focus on grammar and vocabulary or textbooks. And agree because I think when we involve a student, they learn better. When we get them in the process, they are better. Thank you.
Yes, totally agree. We must involve our students in communicative situations where they can use the language. Edward Pineda will be talking to us about his point of view on measuring success and impact according to Mato's answers. Go ahead, Edward.
Thank you, Lillian. So according to Mr. Matos' opinion, educational outcomes are influenced by factors like teacher quality and curriculum design. So I agree in part with him, and in some part I don't agree with him because we have very qualified teachers and we have a curriculum uh, already designed. So what we need to do is to establish the policies to fulfill them in our school. We need uh, a English program. So despite the complexity, measuring outcomes and program impact is essential for improvement. Addressing resource contracts and interconnected factors is crucial. Investing in research, evaluative training, and comprehensive tools can enhance program and benefits student education. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Edward. Totally agree with you. And also, they should give a closer view to these programs to make sure they are carried out properly in schools. To conclude, let's listen to Ivana Ventura, who will be analyzing the challenges and obstacles that the developing of these policies present, according to Mr. Matos.
Okay, thank you, Lilian. The principal obstacle is the lack of English teacher. There are missing too many English teachers to cover those programs they want to implement. So something that I don't agree with Mr. Matos is when he said that even the graduate English teacher don't have a good command on English. I think that English graduate teachers are well prepared to teach English. What I think is that they have to cover too many teaching hours because of the lack of teachers. So they have not time enough to prepare a quality classes, but also there are too many students in classroom. So this is a challenge we need to face.
Yes, that's true. Even though English teachers might encounter some difficulties at the moment of teaching, we have many qualified teachers. I think lack of resources and conditions for teaching the language is one of the main obstacles that he didn't mention, but actually we have them in the classroom. Well, it has been all. Thank you for your analysis, your insights, and goodbye. Thanks a lot.